Hi there, welcome to Tabletop Sagas and the final video for 2024. When I was thinking about what to do for the final video of the year, there really was only one contender. I thought, let's go back to where the whole channel started and show you what I've been working on recently for my 10mm Mongols and Chinese. So, for the last time this year, let's go over to the hobby desk and I'll show you what I've been working on. And here we have everything that I've been working on. So we've got our 4 units of Mongols, which is a full division in Hail Caesar. And then we have our 2 units of Song Chinese crossbows. This is to finish off my Imperial division. There is also as well the doggy over here, you will notice, who is not finished and not based. More on him later though. This is everything that I believe I showed off in the last project update for this that I was looking at getting painted up. Has taken a little bit longer than I intended, unfortunately. There was other projects that came up that took my attention away, and these ended up getting moved down the list, but they are all, for the most part, done now. Here we've got my Mongols. I have painted up a standard unit for these. So we've got our 3 units of horse archers and then a unit of lancers. Very typical of units that I have painted up, divisions I should say, that I have painted in the past for this army. As always, they are Pendraken miniatures. Now, Pendraken unfortunately did have plans in 2024 to actually expand out this range. They were looking at expanding their, I believe it's the TB line of miniatures that they purchased with their Mongols. That unfortunately didn't happen, and so we just have these Mongols at the minute. But I have tried to add some additional variety with these models by also adding in some, such as this guy here. If you can see, I'm not sure if I can get him quite in focus enough. Yeah, so he is wearing chainmail armor and a metal helmet. So there's the 3 lightly armored sculpts, and I have also mixed in some of the medium armor sculpts, again just to add a little bit of variety until we do get those additional TB line miniatures as well. Hopefully we will be seeing those in 2025 with any luck. I'm ever hopeful with that one. And for the lancers here, you can see that again I have followed my very standard way of painting up these. They're painted in metal armor rather than leather. I do think that it just looks a little bit nicer giving them that heavier armor, although maybe mixing in a few leather would actually help with additional variety in this army. You can tell that that is something I am a little bit concerned about. They are, unfortunately, I'm finding, now being 5 divisions in, everything does look a little bit samey in this army, and I would like to find a better way to add in a bit of extra diversity. I have, however, added in 2 new models. So these are the cavalry command units. So we've got the commander and then the standard bearer that I've added into the unit, again just to add a little bit of something extra. Also for the Hail Caesar rules, everything is measured from that center point of the front of the unit. So nice little indicator of that banner of where you want to be measuring that, just to, in terms of gameplay, makes things a little bit clearer and a little bit easier. So that's where these are at the minute. Although I do need to take some time to talk about this base and this little doggy that we have here. So this is a banker, the typical traditional Mongolian shepherding dogs, absolutely huge dogs as well, and really interesting pattern of black and then this kind of almost orangey yellow fur. And so I painted up one of them. I've already got one in my army, but I wanted to add in another one, and this was supposed to go along with another commander. If you did check out my last video, I did have a musician on camel model that I was painting up. Unfortunately, I have actually relocated my painting setup, and in the move, shall we say, unfortunately, he seems to have gone missing. I have no idea where he is, so I do need to get another one painted up and put onto this, and then we've got the commander. But for the minute, you know what? I don't know about the rest of these guys, but if this dog wanted to lead me, then I would follow him wherever he wanted us to go. Here we have my Song crossbow units that I have painted up. These are 3D prints coming from Ten Kingdom miniatures that you can find on my mini factory that I have used for the Imperial Spearmen for this force as well. Really happy with how these are, and variety in these models is absolutely great. So there are, I believe, 5 different sculpts for these miniatures with different facial hair, different hats, or no hats as some cases may be, and different sidearms, and also slightly different at least, positions of how they are holding their bow. It's not a lot, but honestly, 5 different sculpts just for sort of standard line infantry is a lot more than most people at the 10mm scale do, and it does help to add a little bit of variety, particularly when mixed with what I've done here, where I've tried to use slightly different browns as base coats for the model, just to show the underclothes are a little bit different, although I have kept that red accent color as the main spot color on the models, I guess you would say, to try and create that army unity. You will also notice that for these models, I haven't added a commander or a banner or anything like that. That was a deliberate choice for these, as yeah, your archers, your crossbowmen, things like that, they really are supporting units, and so I wanted to really just show them as massed firepower. And I don't think that I need to be too worried about game purposes measuring. Instead, because these are on 2 separate bases to make up a unit, you can very clearly see where that center point is down the unit anyway, so I think that will be absolutely fine. So here are the 2 units of crossbows put together. They are really good, and I'm happy with how they are working. I am really happy as well that they are on 2 bases to a unit. It does allow me to represent when units are in line a little bit easier than if they were just on one big long base. And I do think that there is a good bit of variety here. I think there probably could be a little bit more, but there isn't really much that I can do with that. I would love to see some extra sculpts or maybe some archer specific commanders that I could add in rather than ones that look a little bit too melee focused. But that's the way of things. Not really much you can do about that unless the sculptor Ten Kingdom Miniatures decides to do more, which, to be fair, he already has seemed to be willing to go back in and redo some of this sculpting when he's realized that it's maybe not quite fit for purpose. So who knows, he might go and expand the armies and add in that variety at a later date. So with these models done, the question now is going to be, what am I going to be doing next in this project? I think that I have 5 divisions now of Mongols, and once I get the commander done, I probably will take even more of a back burner than I have been with the Mongols, although I might get them up to a 6th division, just because with Hail Caesar and the way the army breaking rules work when you've lost half of your divisions, 6 feels like more of a round number to me, and 5's a little bit awkward. So I may add in a 6th for them. If I do, the plan will probably be to add in some division of prisoners. Prisoners were something that they did use. It is an unfortunate part of history that they would drive refugees and prisoners and such in front of their armies as basically human shields, particularly during sieges. So I do want a way of representing that and acknowledging that on the table. It is an unfortunate part of history, but people in history were really not always very nice to each other. So that's something I do want to be honest with this and represent. The Song Chinese, however, there is a lot more that I think I would like to do with them. They could be developed further in the Imperial Army. I believe I only have 1 or 2 divisions for those. The rest are more militia forces. So I do think I would like to add some heavier infantry for those. In particular, some 2-handed weapons, what were effectively cavalry killers. They were well known to be actually pretty much the only unit that the Mongols were really scared of, because they could chop man and beast in half in one swing. So definitely something that I want to represent. I also want to have a look more at the Song's artillery side. They were one of the earliest adopters of gunpowder weapons, and that's something that I do feel is lacking in my army at present. In particular, that is in the form of fire lancers, a very iconic unit for the Song that I don't have, and I definitely, I think, want to get added to this army. So that's another way that I might expand them. Other than that, it's really starting to look at other kingdoms that existed in this time, particularly those of northern China, so the Jin dynasty and the Khitan's Liao dynasty. So those are an interesting mix, really. Actually, the Song here are very infantry focused, and the Mongols at this time are pretty much entirely cavalry focused. Whereas the Khitan's Liao dynasty, and then the Jurchen's Jin dynasty are a mix of the two. They have a lot of infantry, but they also have a strong cavalry corps as well. And so I really do want to represent that in those two forces. I think that's what will be coming in the near future. Button so that you can see when those go live. I would also as well like to take a minute here at the end to say thank you to everyone who's subscribed, commented, or even just watched my videos over the last year since I started this channel. It's been honestly amazing to see people interested in what I'm working on in any way, shape or form. And from the bottom of my heart, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate each and every one of you. I've got plenty of new ideas for the new year that I really want to take things further with this channel. Hopefully in the not too distant future, there'll finally be those battle reports that I've been hinting at are on the way, especially now that I've got two reasonable sized armies for this project. But for the last time in 2024, thank you very much for watching. I'm Brett here at Tabletop Sagas, and well, I'll see you in the new year.